behind the desk. And we're back. That
What's
sounded
the
like
theme?
it. Oh my god. Hey guys, it's Luke.
And now,
Welcome back to Behind the Desk. Luke, Melon.
Fun fact: we were just on a blog.
We were on a blog? Oh, stop it.
We are. It's the Franco Papers WordPress.com.
Oh my god,
it's
we're
our new
famous.
intern.
Oh yeah, we have our new intern in the studio. Oscar, say hi to the folks.
It's called Behind the Desk.
Hi, I'm way over here.
We don't pay him.
Hashtag behind.
You know,
Behind
when you
the
dream big, maybe one day, you know, you just get to intern.
Yeah.
We've all done it.
Another person who's achieved dreams today is one of our avid listeners, one of our biggest fans. And guess what? She's now on the podcast. So
That's
keep
right.
dreaming big, kids.
Welcome to the episode, The Hustler. It's 2 Mels, 1 Luke. Say hi to the people, Melanette.
Hello, people.
Yeah, this is Melanette. She works with Mel and I at our place of work, and which shall
This is the place of work.
that shall forever remain nameless. But you know, tell us all about your life, Melody. Give us a little bit of background about you. Then we're gonna dive into this thing.
Yeah, sure thing. I am born and raised in Texas. Went to UT Austin with Luke over here. Hook up.
UT fans.
That's right. You
Yeah.
can't get rid of us, the UT people. We're
Exactly.
all over.
We're
Can I
all
just,
over the
side
place.
note for a second? One of my favorite moments of you ever was
Talk louder.
was we were talking about something and I was talking about how I've been to a lot of places and you were like, oh, you've been to Texas, and I was like, no, I've never been. You're like, what? You were flabbergasted that I've never been to Texas.
Well, we need to change that. So you're coming to Texas.
Yeah, I'm going
It's
to
great.
Texas. Just me. You can't.
Okay, back to Melanette. Back to what's important. Not your travels. Born and raised in Texas. You went to UT with
Yeah,
me.
UT. I moved to New York City like a week after graduating.
Big dreamer.
Yep, and then I've been here so a year and 8 months,
crap.
and loving every second of it. Definitely a roller coaster ride.
Shut that up. We're doing something. Yeah, it definitely is a roller coaster ride in the city.
Yeah, but I'm loving it, learning a lot. That's the big thing.
Loving
Learning
it,
a lot.
learning it,
Yep.
doing it, hustling it.
Yep.
Yeah, so what are we going to talk to Melanette today about? Mel?
Okay, listen up, people.
Get closer to the mic or
Oh my
I
god,
will.
you keep yelling at me.
Well, you don't heed my... You didn't take
this is the
heeded...
real behind the desk.
You didn't
just
take heed of my
yelling at me.
instructions.
This audition season has been a time, everybody.
Yeah. Fucking Mamma Mia's and Newsies and... I don't
Things
know
that are perfect for us.
Well,
No, but it has been a time. We're like halfway through it. So everyone calm down, okay? If you haven't
Yeah.
booked yet, it's fine. There's
It's
a lot
fine.
of opportunities left.
there is a goddamn jackhammer outside.
Well, welcome to New York, Luke.
Oh my god, sorry guys.
So,
Yeah.
but Melanette has been an inspiration to us all.
Yes,
in
she
her
has.
hustle game.
Oh my god, she's crying.
You laugh at my tears.
Yeah, he's like that. No, she really has. She's been amazing, and
Mhm.
she keeps doing more and more things in the city. Every time I talk to her, she's like, I'm doing
Yeah.
this! I'm like, what are you talking about? I'm barely awake, and you've done 6 things.
I know.
But she's really great, and so we just want to talk about that hustle and how you do it.
Yeah. Take us through a day in the life of Melanette and her hustle game and auditioning for all the things.
All right, day in the life of Melanette. Great. So after I rest, after I sleep for at least 7 to 8 hours, hopefully.
Well, Mel operates on 4, that's why she's
Okay.
flabbergasted.
Oh my god. Hashtag flabbergasted. It's like the second time we said that one.
He steals my
Um,
words.
Okay. Anyways,
what I
yeah. So I always look up auditions, what's going on,
Mhm.
well, before the week starts. Yeah, make sure I'm prepared for those. I take classes throughout the city, so that's another part of my daily life. If I don't have a class or I don't have an audition, make sure to go into a studio and rehearse what I do have. And
How do you
just
find the
prepare for-
motivation to do these things day in
Oh,
and day
wow.
out? Because Mel and I do not have the motivation.
Well, okay, I feel like we should preface this. not like we're just like lying down asleep all the time.
That's it's like
Okay.
mildly true.
Well, Melanette, we should share our common bond.
Okay.
Melanette and I are both 6 feet tall. We're
Yeah.
just gonna round up.
Right.
Both Mels.
Yeah, we're like
We're both
same
males
Both
and
female?
I mean, we're both beautiful. Let's
Yes.
just say it.
Yeah. Gorgeous.
No, and so there's a very specific type
Mm-hmm.
that we are,
Mhm.
and so I've
box
taken
you're
the
in it.
approach of like really knowing what I do and what I'm good at, and like
Mhm.
so only going to those things. Whereas you're kind of taking the approach of like throw everything at the wall and see what sticks right now.
Yeah, just
Right.
fling the
How
shit.
do you do like how do you mindset to that?
Yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I still do my research. I still make sure that I would have a chance.
Just, like, wandering around like,
Yeah.
audition.
Yeah, just like, oh, random. No, like, I mean,
Is this door open? Hello.
Cirque du Soleil
People do
needs a
that.
new lion wrangler.
We've seen it. They're just like, is this an audition?
Gosh.
I'm here. And you're like, what?
Yeah.
Anyways, moving
So,
on.
yeah, I mean, like, I still make sure, like, I would at least have a chance, hopefully, if the person is open-minded enough. Or the company is open-minded enough. But, yeah, I do my research. I see if I am vocally a match, if I feel like I can tell that story and have that
Mhm.
emotional depth for that character.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and if I just have the gut feeling that seems like a really fun show, I'd love to be a part of it. I just go for those auditions.
Do you feel like you know your like type and your niche thing? Because like Mel and I have talked about how was that on the Know Your Type episode? Whatever. I do the actor musician thing. Mel's a big powerhouse singing box face, and she
Okay, have a
but
box
do
face.
you feel like you know your hit?
I mean, no, not really. I feel like I'm still discovering that.
And that's okay.
Yeah, and I think it's gonna take me a while. I mean, nobody really ever really knows when they're gonna hit their
So-
I guess prime time in terms of their type or
So
their
tell
hit.
us more about like
Get closer to the
when
mic.
you felt very your type. Like you've been living your type. You've been living in the world that is great.
Yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's good.
wow, that's deep. I feel like
Well, you've played a bunch of roles. You've
sort of.
No, you have.
Yeah.
Where did you feel like the best, or are you still looking for that where you're just like, this is what I do?
This
Well,
is
I'm
me.
still looking. I'm still looking for that. Yeah. I'm still looking for that. I think I'm growing into that slowly. For now, I think I'm still a little young for a lot of the roles that I'm really going after.
Mm-hmm.
So I think in like maybe a couple of years I'll grow into that.
Yeah, you guys both have that same problem of being
Yeah.
like, you are going to play some older characters in life, but being
Right.
20-something, you're not quite there
Yeah.
yet,
Yeah.
and you can't help that.
So what's your favorite role?
Oh my gosh.
That she's played or
No,
just...
that like just in general, like you've read a lot of scripts and you've been around the block now. She's lived here a year and 8 months. She's so you know what strikes a chord in you.
Yeah, this is really interesting because one of my favorite roles comes from a play.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
And it's Jose Rivera. He's amazing. He's from New York, Puerto Rican playwright. There's this play he wrote called Boleros for the Disenchanted, and there is it takes place in 2 different places in each act. But in the second act, there's the role of the nurse, and I mean not because of like her background story or whatever, but just the language she uses, the story she tells in that second act. I love it. It's like the randomest thing. It's one of my monologues, we go-to monologues. But yeah, that's one of my favorite roles. I'd love to play that someday if anybody's hiring for Boleros for the
So
Disenchanted.
Luke's talked about this pretty frequently on the podcast, where he only wants to play roles that strike chords in him,
Right.
and like relate to him on a what?
And that I strike chords with my guitar.
Yeah.
No,
but
yeah,
that's
yeah.
something that's
Well, like,
important to you.
I-
You don't want to play just
so-
nothing roles, even if you're right. for
Right,
them.
since
Yeah.
being back from New Orleans, I went to my first audition
Nolans.
of the, we're like halfway through audition season, but I went through my first like in-person audition yesterday, and it was for Once Musical, because that musical means a lot to me.
Right.
And those are kind of the only shows that I'm really interested in doing, actor, musician stuff. But that's just because those things they strike a chord with me,
Okay.
but also, I
Can I
don't
get
know.
to the meat of my question?
Okay,
Uh,
good. Oh my
so
God.
basically-
You just give me a second to explain.
So that's how Luke feels, but you feel like you're still looking for that chord, which is why you go for a lot of season auditions.
I feel no, not exactly.
Okay.
I feel like the season auditions are what happening a lot, or are what happening a.
Or what
I
happened?
don't know
What
English.
happening?
I don't know English.
What is happening?
Is what's happening
a lot.
a lot.
I don't know English.
This is
Okay.
really hard.
Oh my gosh. What? Hold on. The question was.
So he goes for things that like really.
Okay. Yeah. No. So I feel like I go for things that pull at my heartstrings as well, and stories that I would want to tell.
Okay.
I don't. I guess maybe that's just happening a lot now with all these shows. I'm like, oh, I want to tell that story. But yeah, I would never want to get involved in a project that I'm not passionate about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, okay, all right.
Okay.
No, don't disagree with any of that.
I'm so confused.
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know what's happening either.
What are happening?
Okay, well, okay, fine, I'm gonna jump into my
Something-
question. We're gonna get down and
All right.
deep and dirty with it. Get down to the nitty
You
gritty.
shouldn't preface like that. It actually sounds as bullies.
What bullies? I'm just interrogating her aggressively.
Um,
So, being the type that you are,
Right.
6 feet tall, gorgeous. That doesn't exactly fit in well with musical theater, like we all the time.
Right.
no,
Do
it
you
doesn't fit well in ensemble.
Right, right.
There's places
So
for it in
let's
musical
just
theater.
do you going to these auditions and being more of like somebody who's throwing the shit at the wall and seeing what sticks? Do you ever feel just downtrodden with the the grind? Like how many times do you walk out of an audition and just go, what am I doing? Why am I doing this?
Yeah. So that's just
Rejection.
part of the life of a
Mm-hmm.
starving artist, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, especially when you're going through a dry season and it's no after no, you do feel discouragement. You do feel like, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Why does nobody want me for this show?
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think you accept that you have those feelings because it's part of it. Don't like ignore them. It's part of part of you now. But yeah, you accept it and you keep going. Eventually you'll get out of the rut. I mean, you'll find something new.
But
to
how do
focus
you stay
on.
so positive?
I mean, I guess it's like my personality or
we've
my
talked-
upbringing.
Melonette's
you know?
just
No, but
crazy.
we've talked about like he has this whole like fuck it mentality,
Right.
which helps
Yeah.
him after a bad
Yeah.
audition, and I have like journaling
And in life.
or like exploding
Right.
with emotions. Like I talk it out either to myself or
I
others.
receive 18 text messages.
No, but that's how my process goes. Good or bad audition. Like I'm
Right.
like, oh my god, I'm so excited about this, or like, oh my god, that was terrible, and like I tell people stories. Like that's
Right.
that's my process. What is yours? Do you
I
go
mean-
like get a cookie?
Yeah. I think
When you give a Mel a cookie.
Yeah, I mean, it depends. Sometimes I don't really like to talk about the specifics of what on the room. Like, I just kind
You were
of.
gonna be like, I don't really like to talk about with you what my process
No.
is.
I was gonna be like, well, there's the
like,
door.
well,
It's a
that was
podcast.
shit.
Yeah.
No, I'm very much like, okay, the audition's we were there for like what, a minute and a half. Audition's over, you leave, close the door, and
Yeah.
you just let it be.
Yeah.
Like I feel if I overthink it or go over every single little thing that I like said and what my hands did, I'm just gonna,
Yeah, those
Yeah.
hands are
Be
always the
overwhelmed.
peskiest.
I know those hands.
It's like, what is it doing?
Hashtag
So yeah,
pesky
I mean,
hands.
I just try to find something else to focus on. After an audition, it's great, I love our job. After an audition, I just go to work and that's my focus for the day, it's great. Or,
So you're really good at letting it go.
yeah, let
Okay.
it go. I mean, it takes a lot. Sometimes I don't want to let something go, but
Mm-hmm.
you gotta make the effort, keep moving, because if you're just stuck there, you're gonna...
So what you're saying is you
Overthink and-
don't make an Instagram post and
No.
say how much your life has changed because of those 30 seconds.
No.
Which is fine if that is your process.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that's a lot of Instagram posts
That's
for
a lot.
you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think something about you in particular, like, I think there's a lot of people that are, like, hashtag hustlers
Right.
and, like, getting after it. But I think we lose that sense of, like, you're just trying to book because this is what you've done your whole life. And,
Right.
you're just trying, it's not like you're, like, really happy. I feel like you actually genuinely love the art and the craft, which I think we all lose sight of from time to time. But I also just think there's just a lot of people out there that like don't realize how unhappy they are and aren't in love with the craft anymore because they're just like, I just got a book, I just got to get the job.
When I met you, I was just like very struck by how like I think I told Luke because he knew you first.
Yeah.
He was like, you're gonna love her, and I was like, all right.
You're 6 feet tall and you're both named Mel.
I was like, all right, I'll be the judge of who.
And then she was like, there's only room for one Mel in this motherfucker.
I did say that.
Oh my gosh.
No, but and then I met you and I told him it was so great to meet you right before audition season started because you were so in it.
Yeah.
And you inspired me to be more in it. You were just like, this, like, I'm doing it. You're like, I'm hustling and I'm doing this. And you were just like so excited about all these opportunities. And I think the grind had gotten to me.
Hashtag the grind.
And you like inspired me to not like care so much about the negative and just like be more open to opportunities and like that's why like honest and you were like, oh, I'm just Melinette. And you were just like,
yeah, I mean like, you know, just taking every audition.
But I tried to tell you that one time and you were like, I'm Melinette, I'm just happy.
Yeah.
I was like, okay.
Yeah, but you're just taking each audition and learning a little something, putting it
And
away.
you're just very inspiring that way. Like you come off an audition and you're like, well, it went. And I was like,
well, it went. It happened. Well, you can't.
But we were in the same room one time, you remember this, and you're so great in that I wasn't even there. I had just put my name down, and you messaged me and were like, Mel, you were typed in, you gotta get here! And you were like so excited for me. And I was like, what's happening?
Oh my God.
But no, you're just really great that way. You're so supportive of everybody else's, and I think it's gonna like, when you book something, it's gonna explode.
Well, you
You
sure
know?
already has, too.
Yeah, but no, like you're so supportive. You're the first person to be supportive of everyone else's. Like when we started this podcast, you're like, "That's amazing!" Like you were so. I'm making you a cartoon character, but
Yeah, okay.
because everyone's a cartoon character in my brain.
Yeah,
but you're really supportive of
Yeah.
everyone's like gigs and even if it's like the smallest thing, you're like, "That's great, let's do it." So let's do that.
But I mean, I think,
Which is hard because, I know like it can be hard when other people are doing things
right.
to stay that positive, you
Yeah.
know? And you're just like a really great example of someone who's
Yeah.
very positive about everyone else's achievements plus your own, which is, I mean, in this competition that we're in, even if it's not a competition, it's really difficult
Right.
to...
Oh,
Anyways, I
thanks,
admire
Mel.
you.
I don't even know.
I just went on
what
like
to
a rant
say.
about how much I admire
My
When
heart
two
is
Mels
bursting.
meet. From Mel to Mel, the new musical.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think it's I don't quite understand
so
you.
how do you
I think you're an
stay-
enigma.
Okay, so back to this. How do you, like, do you, I mean, this is like your psyche or whatever, but do you feel like the more goodness you bring in, like, if someone else books and you're like, oh, I was up for that role, but they booked it, like, you're still so positive.
Right.
How do you do that? Like, your mental process?
I think
Because sometimes I'm like, great,
Yeah.
and then I cry.
Yeah, I think a big thing that we struggle with is comparison.
I was gonna say jealousy.
Yeah, and just comparing what you bring to the table with somebody else, a friend, and that it's
Yeah.
really hard when it's a friend and you see them book something and it's like, and that's something we have to again accept. All right, and
Right.
just move on from, because everybody brings a unique, angle to this art, to this craft. Everyone is different. There
Yeah.
aren't. I mean, I know there's a lot of stigma between like the musical theater, like robot, right?
Right.
But everyone's different. Everyone offers something different. Everyone can. How do I say this? Everyone can interpret material in a different way. So
Yeah.
it's hard to shy away from. Okay, hold on. I can't even. Let me start over.
All right.
Everyone has something to offer,
Yeah,
and
you
like
have
has
to-
a different view and has a different perspective on the art.
Yeah.
And it'd be best if we could all be like you and lift each other up a little bit.
But that's the
But
thing.
I mean, it's true. It's
yeah,
true.
so that's the thing. Being conscious. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm comparing myself to that person in this moment. I'm sort of jealous of their success. I don't
Yeah.
understand why I'm not getting that.
Yeah.
Acknowledge that you had those thoughts and just, all right, what am I going to do about it?
Right.
I can either sulk and have a pity party and nothing will come out of that.
Yeah.
You'll only hurt yourself. Or celebrate, keep going.
Yeah.
Know that you giving off that energy, you being supportive of others, it's just going to come right back to you.
Yeah,
And
good
especially
karma.
in this really hard, competitive, chaotic industry.
Yeah.
We have to fight for the positivity. We have to
Yeah,
fight for the
I
encouragement.
full-fledged believe in karma in this industry too, because it just feels
She's
like
just such a walking example of it.
yeah. We've got a few minutes left here. I want to talk about being in this hustler situation. Like I said, we advocate for that kind of thing. I mean, it's just it's always about mental health and staying healthy, and it just auditions, they don't overwhelm me necessarily. It just always it's kind of you got homework that's looming over you, and I just don't like to think about it sometimes. And you do more than we do, I would say, audition wise. That's just what we're gonna say, hustler. Do you advocate for others being as hard on the grind, or even crazier? I mean, there's people who go way harder than even you do, and I think those people are nuts, honestly. Who are up at 3 a.m. doing trying to hit 5 auditions in one day, and you're you're not right for this, you're wasting everybody's time. But do you advocate for pushing as hard as I feel like you do? And you're upbeat and positive, but I feel like you work really hard, and I don't know, just staying positive is kind of incredible.
Yeah. I have to say, I do advocate it, as long as you're being healthy about it and taking care of yourself, number one. There's just go for it.
Yeah.
Don't let, the negative thoughts come up and the self-doubt take over your hustle.
And you don't ever feel like you're wasting your time or somebody else's in an audition?
No.
Do you ever feel that way?
No, I feel like if I do, I did feel like that recently, that my time was being wasted. Even though I felt I was perfect for that musical or whatever. People were eating in the room. while I was auditioning,
Okay,
kind
this
of
is
thing.
that one.
No, it was just kind of
Right.
I got there at 9 a.m. so it wasn't a crazy thing.
Had you auditioned for this theater before?
I had, yeah,
Okay.
and I should have,
So you didn't feel like it was going to be a waste of time going into it. I'm assuming the
Yeah.
past experience wasn't as bad.
Right, and so
Yeah.
I mean, we were told 16 bars that day. They cut it down to 8 bars, and they were having lunch in the middle of my audition. Nobody was looking at me. It was okay, I'm wasting my time. But I take that mental note and I move on. I don't think I'd audition for them again.
Yeah, so I was going to say, so you probably wouldn't go back in for
Yeah,
them
so
then.
you live and you learn. But
Right.
but I do recommend working hard towards your goals, and your dreams.
So piecing this together, our
Yeah.
2 bits of advice, I think it is smart to figure out your type and figure out your niche and your box. And I think
Right.
you're still figuring that out, but then also going as hard as you can at the same time, which I just think it's hard to do, finding the balance.
Yeah, but I think,
I
mean, being able to balance it out, I had a teacher who told me one time, at least do one thing a day that benefits your career. It could be
think that's great.
Yeah, it's okay,
That's
even
good
if you go to the
advice.
gym, great, you took care of your body today. If it's an audition, great. If it's a voice class, great. If it's updating your website, perfect. You did something to benefit your career that day. So I think that's something I try
even
to
if you're
live
just
by,
sitting
and-
down at the piano and just
Yeah.
kind of pounding
Yeah.
some stuff out, I think that's great.
And it's also not about, thinking that you're working as hard as you can. It's being efficient with your time and knowing what to focus on and what's going to take you to the next level.
I think we get lost in that too a lot of times, not looking at okay, well I did that one thing today and it's good for me.
It's really hard, I find, to remember. Yesterday I was not having a great day and I just went and sang what I know I'm good at.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And just music that makes me really happy.
Yeah.
And it wasn't for an audition and it wasn't for a gig. It was just for me.
Yeah.
And I think people
yeah.
get lost in that.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, we'll go and play all the time and studios and just sing whatever, and that really does save my day, because
Right.
I'm this doesn't mean anything. We're just having fun.
Yeah.
Makes me feel good, but also we're singing. It's good. You're using your
Yeah,
instrument
it's
and
just to
stuff.
remember it's
Right.
not always
Exploring.
the job. This
Yeah.
is what you're saying.
And
Like-
remember, and then it also reminds you, you're doing it for you. You're doing it because it's what you love to, not to please
Hashtag
somebody
do
else.
it for you.
Yeah.
Do
Hashtag
it
do it for you.
That's great.
That's
This has been lovely. 2 Mel's and 1 Lou.
Thank you guys
And
so much for
on
having me. It's an honor
The
to
Hustler.
be here.
Episode 9 of Behind the Desk. We're back, baby. Oh, I don't know if it's going to be episode 9. Whatever. Woo! All right.
Episode and number we don't know yet.
Yeah, to be determined.
TBD.
But yeah, follow us. That was fun. We're back. Behind the Desk. Luke and Mel. On the iTunes.
And Mel.
And Mel. On the iTunes. On the SoundClouds. On the CastBox. On the YouTubes. On the...
Did you just read a list?
I don't know.
That's the first time you've ever remembered that.
All those things. Yeah, lukewarmmelon@gmail.com if you want to talk to us. If you have a business and you want to say things to us, and like we'll put you out there on the show. Oh yeah, what was that acting studio that you did? Let's.
Stella Adler and Folster Studio.
Folster and Stella Adler Studios. Look into them. Mel and Annette has had a great time with their classes.
Yeah.
Cool. That was great, guys.
Yay.
We'll see you next
Keep listening,
week.
keep hustling.
Keep going for it.
Follow, subscribe. See ya.